This is Generation Stadia, giving you that daily dose of everything and anything Stadia related, and today we're going to be talking a bit about Project XCloud and Stadia. Now before I begin, I want to make it very clear that this is very much so a discussion topic, so feel free to leave your opinions in the comment section below. So ever since that whole community discussion started happening about Destiny 2 being on Project XCloud about a week and a half ago, I've been wanting to make this video, but I've been a bit hesitant. That being the case, I decided to sit back and kinda watch it play out and see it from an outside perspective looking in. And boy, were there a ton of opinions there. Some people thought it was a very good move on XCloud's part to actually push Stadia out of the competition, and other people just didn't think it was that big a deal. Myself, I really didn't think too much of it. Honestly, I don't think one third-party game defines a platform. Now don't get that wrong either. I fully expected the media, the YouTubers, the Twitter fanboys all to come out and start using this as ammunition to trash on Stadia, but I just didn't think it would matter. See, the fact of the matter is that currently, no matter what Google does at the moment, it's going to get trashed and twisted and turned into something negative. I always thought the Destiny 2 situation was pretty laughable considering Destiny 2 has been on other cloud streaming platforms before Stadia. A good example is GeForce Now. It's been available on that service for quite some time, and even smaller services like Vortex support it too. So really, what's the big deal? I mean, Stadia can't compete with XCloud's library of games, at least nowhere near it in the short term. We have to remember that for Xbox to add support to a game, all they need is a publisher's approval, and then it should be as easy as flipping a switch. Stadia, on the other hand, requires development and work to actually port over to its platform. Now there's both good and bad when that happens, no matter which route you look at, but I don't want to make that the focus of this video. Instead, I want to bring up why competition is a good thing. First up, it really does encourage both Microsoft and Google to step their game up because they both lack in pretty meaningful categories. In Google's case, it's the lack of games and the lack of announcements being made. Over here, Xbox is going on about these new games being added to their beta. And I really don't doubt that Google's not feeling that pressure. Microsoft, on the other hand, has a different issue to worry about, and that's their stream quality. As many of you know, the only way to play Project XCloud right now is through a mobile phone, and in case you didn't know, while it looks good on a small screen, that's a 720p stream. That puts it in line with the PlayStation Now service, and while it's serviceable, it definitely isn't good enough. This is probably the main reason why Microsoft is so hesitant to show anyone Project XCloud running on a different thing other than a mobile device. I have absolutely no doubts that Microsoft is currently working on a better way to stream games, and I'm sure they're gonna upgrade their hardware to the Series X at some point in time. The point I'm trying to make is that competition between these two giants are only going to make it better for us, the consumer. Speaking of which, as a consumer, another thing I want to point out is that you have the ability to play on either one. You don't have to settle down for one and then stick to it. It annoys me how many times I see people swearing off other streaming services simply because it's not their preferred one. If I go visit the Stadia subreddit, it's pretty much all pro Stadia and everything else just isn't good enough. And as you can imagine, if we flip it around and go to an XCloud community, all you're gonna see are people talking about how Stadia is already a dead platform. And despite my channel's name, no, I don't only game on Google Stadia. I use Project XCloud all the time on my mobile device. I use Stadia when I'm playing on my computer or TV. Not to mention, I use GeForce Now anytime my buddies want to play a game and I can't be bothered to download an application. If you're currently able to play on multiple services but you're limiting yourself to one of them, then you're not getting the best of what streaming is about. The barrier of entry to playing on a different service has never been this low, and I can't imagine myself ever sticking to one and only one. As a consumer, one of the worst mentalities you can have is that one of these multi-billion-dollar corporations is a best friend. They're not. All they care about is how much money you're willing to spend. You should be using whichever service suits your use case best. If you plan on playing on your computer or your TV screen, then go with Stadia or GeForce Now. But if you came to me and you told me your main use case for streaming games is to game on your phone, then I would point you toward Project XCloud. The people out there who are claiming that one service absolutely trounces the other in every aspect can only be described as a fanboy. And those type of people really only hurt the industry even more. Real criticism is extremely important, and companies need to hear it to make sure that they can deliver a better product. Fake criticism, on the other hand, is just completely unfounded, and it only hurts other consumers. Take it from someone running a Stadia-focused YouTube channel, the amount of people who comment not knowing what Stadia can even do is pretty absurd. A good example is that I constantly get told that Stadia Base is going to require a subscription fee. The worst part is that all this does is confuse others who are genuinely interested in trying it out. But being a fanboy isn't just about spreading misinformation, but also not being able to take criticism about your preferred platform. I've gone on record many times stating that Stadia really needs to get more games onto the service as well as fix their public relations problem. And yet, I get told over and over again that there's no issues and that they're just happily playing Borderlands 3. See, the thing is that just because an issue doesn't affect you doesn't mean it's not an issue. Even if you've invested into one of these platforms in a big way, myself, I've bought probably over 6 games on Stadia already, I'm not gonna ignore that there's problems that need to get fixed. And no one should either, because you should be demanding a better service. You shouldn't be accepting whatever's given to you. Just as there are many people who are constantly bashing on Stadia, there's a few people who just don't want to accept that Google's done anything wrong here. Right now, Google isn't living up to the full expectations people had after the initial reveal at GDC. And for the time being, media is going to continue to bash on it because it's an easy target. With that said, it will get better over time, and no, it's not going to die out anytime soon despite what people may be telling you or articles may be writing. Just the same, I could be here right now trashing XCloud because they decided to use Xbox One S hardware that's already been outdated the moment it launched. But that too will get better, and honestly, they need to get better because if they want to compete with each other, that's necessary. I genuinely don't think Project XCloud would be getting as big a push right now if it weren't for the fact that Google entered the market. The same goes for PlayStation Now. It's not a mere coincidence that they're just starting to add first-party titles to their service. So to wrap this up, what I'm really trying to get at here is that competition in the cloud gaming landscape at this point in time is very healthy and very welcome. If you care at all about using game streaming as a way to play, then you shouldn't be hoping that any of these companies fail. And when you're recommending someone who's interested in using a game streaming service, be sure to explain exactly what they're all about because right now they all excel at different things. Sorry for going on a bit of a rant today, but I really wanted to speak about this subject. But more importantly, I'm very curious to hear your opinions, so do let me know them in the comments section below. Do you think competition is a good thing in this space, or do you think it'd be better if everyone just flocked to one company? I'm looking forward to reading your replies. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button as it really does help the channel out. And if you're wanting more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. Today's end of video message is going to be more geared toward those of you who regularly watch the channel. Basically, I just want to let you know to stay tuned this week as I will be covering a few other topics that aren't directly Stadia related but do have to do with cloud gaming. A couple of those topics are some things that you've been wanting me to cover for quite some time now, so I'm honestly looking forward to talking about them. Aside from that, I just want to do a quick reminder that I do have a Twitter page, so if you want to follow me for the latest updates, please do so, as I do plan on being much more active on that front. Anyways, thank you for watching. This has been Generation Stadia, giving you that daily dose of everything and anything Stadia related. The Gen S community is over 3,400 strong and growing by the day, and until next time, I'll catch you in the clouds.